argument online where it's usually some rednecks, and I by the way, I guess I'm back to beefing with y'all again, my rednecks, because god dang, I'm back beefing with y'all, man, because you rebel flag waving, tobacco chewing, yeah. Let's go back to normal, because anyways, nah, man, they always trying to make it out like it's somehow black people's responsibility for the transatlantic slave trade. The problem with all of this shit is it is so heavily based in misinformation, and there are some truths to it, but the truths are so far stretched that the whole argument is just crazy. So, for example, nobody told the Africans about, hey, by the way, we're going to make gold the epicenter of everybody's economy now. Okay, so if you ain't got gold, you're broke. They never put the Africans in the group chat. Okay, so when Alexander the Great and them and all these people were, conquering the world for gold and whatnot or whatever, the Africans was doing them. They was, because they didn't think nothing else about gold. They thought it was cool. You could make jewelry out of it, but that was it. It wasn't like super important to them. Anyways, so the way they used currency is they would use work. They would use trade, like actual physical, like for example, if you're a warlord and I'm a warlord and your village owe my village some money, you'd provide me with farmers, with tradesmen, with craftsmen. That's how these people work. That's how they survive. You provide me with some warriors. Give me some of your warriors, whatever. Okay, so the Portuguese pull up, the Spanish pull up with this big ass, shiny ass, heavy armor, and there's this misconception that some white folks ran down some motherfuckers from the Zulu and Dosa tribe, and no, it's not what happened. So what happened was this: the Portuguese, the Spanish, the whoever, they pulled up with weapons, with all kinds of stuff, with these big, huge ships, right? And they're like, hey, we got some cool shit. Y'all want some cool shit? We got some stuff that y'all probably don't got access to. It'd really be nice though if y'all could provide us with I don't know, some people maybe. Now the Africans, of course, they're not thinking anything else other than this is regular schmegular another Tuesday. They've been, trading tradesmen and craftsmen and workers and farmers and whatever. Now, to argue that is slavery is not the same thing as chattel slavery. White people, if you don't know what chattel slavery is, I need you to Google that shit, because there's levels to this shit, okay? What the Africans had going on was far more related to feudalism than it is anything. And I'm not saying that it's a walk in the park, but bro, chattel slavery? So basically what ends up happening is you have this group of white folk going to this tribe, and they're saying, hey, if y'all capture this tribe over here and bring our people to them, then we'll give you X, Y, and Z. And then you got some other white people going to this tribe over here, and they're saying, hey, if y'all attack this tribe and capture their people, then we'll give you. And so essentially they started an arms race where the Africans need these supplies and this equipment from these Europeans in order to capture more Africans from other neighboring tribes, right? Which is essentially bolstering their economy. And now you have all of these economies that are dependent upon the capture of rival tribes. And by the way, everybody that wants... Now, did these African tribes know that the people they were capturing were about to be transported across an entire ocean and be enslaved for generation after generation and subject to all forms of dehumanizing cruelty with their culture and language and spirituality? No, they didn't know that. Does it make it right? No, it doesn't make it right. Does me, the Southern Negro from Alabama, have anything to do with any of this? Fuck no. So how the hell y'all gonna blame black people in America like, oh, well, the African tribes, so nigga, I don't know them. Them ain't my people. Like I'm supposed to be like, oh, we did it to ourselves and just accept it. Like, no, I don't know them people. And everybody that want to argue with me on this, these motherfuckers can't name 3 countries in Africa. They can't give me a tribe. They'll just speak vaguely like, oh well, the tribes. I'm like, what tribes? The Mandinka, the Sosa, the Zulu, the Pygmies. Like, give me a tribe, any tribe, and they can't name no tribe. They'll just be like, oh well, in Africa, where in Africa? Where? Were we talking Botswana, the Ivory Coast, Mozambique? Give me something, bro. Give me something. And once again, it's not like these tribes were giving their own tribesmen and their own women and children away to these people. No, it was the people that they was already at war with. And once again, it doesn't make it right. But I hate when people talk about Africa and how poor Africa is. Like, oh, well, at least you don't have to be stuck in Africa and live in a hut and chasing zebras around. It's like, y'all don't know nothing about Africa, number one. And number two, the reason why Africa is poor and so fucked up is because of imperialism, colonialism, the transatlantic slave trade. That's why Africa is fucked up. Nothing more, nothing less. If it had not been for this series of events, then Africa would not be this impoverished land y'all think it is. By the way, them niggas be eating good over there. Y'all don't know it because y'all just be seeing them sad ass commercials with them kids. But no. It's y'all don't know shit about Africa half the time. And it's not even our fault as Americans, because they specifically teach us to, neglect Africa's history. Like, we are conditioned to think like, oh well, didn't nothing go on that continent. It ain't nothing much. That's how we're conditioned. So I ain't even throwing shade if that's what you got going on. I'm just saying it ain't what you thought. And that's why I hate being called African American. Don't nothing piss me off more than being called African American, because how the fuck I'm African American? There ain't nothing African about me except for my skin and my hair. Well, maybe one other thing. But listen, what I'm saying is these folks have been removed from my gene pool for hundreds of years. I am hundreds of years removed from the continent of Africa culturally. Like, to call me an African American, but y'all don't be calling these white folks British American. There's not a single conflict in Africa going on right now that you can't trace back way back to some shit that sparked off during the transatlantic slave trade. Because what you got to understand is, once slavery was abolished and the import of slaves was no longer coming into the New World, now these thriving, bustling economies that these nations have built, I'm calling them nations, and that's a stretch. It's really more like just huge tribes and groups of people. But like, these people had based their economy off of war. And so now they don't have a reason to go to war. They just have a whole bunch of weapons, and they don't have anything to base their economy off of. So now they over here beefing over resources. You see what I'm saying? When previously they could just go capture some motherfuckers and then hit up the Portuguese on the phone like, hey, we got about 50 of them, you know what I'm saying, run that gold. You dig what I'm saying? It's way more layered and way more wicked than they try to explain it. But and last but not least, by the way, if you're an Anglo-Saxon and you're listening to this, man, shouts out to you, because I can only imagine how difficult this got to be to listen to as a white person. Damn. Whew. Anyways, so yeah, so if you are somebody who's descended from Black Americans, right, you trace your roots back to the southern United States, you need to understand how rare that is in the huge scheme of things, because the vast majority of all people that were enslaved and brought to the New World, they mainly went to the Caribbean and South America. Only like 8 or 10% or something like that actually went to North America, where we at. And so yeah, shouts out to you. Ever since they freed us, they've been trying to kill us. Yeah, but we won't die. We won't die. Dare I say, we have cockroach tendencies. Yeah. Shouts out to you. You know what I'm talking about? And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Quit playing with I love when white people get mad about this shit. They're like, I didn't have anything to do with this. I wasn't born yet. I didn't do any of this.